Hey, everybody. Welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. This is Christy Brower with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
Hello. It's the Thursday Night Psychic Show.
I know. I love it. I'm so happy to be here.
Sorry we're late. We're having craziness, crazy, busy
Mm,
stuff.
Yeah.
But we're here, by George.
Spring. It's kicking us in the butt.
Mm,
But
it is, yeah. It is most definitely, but we're excited to be here. So, how are you?
yeah, I'm really good. I'm just really, busy, run down. I,
Rundown,
but,
busy rundown.
well, I had a steroid shot on Monday because of some joint stuff. And that's, kind of made me feel larger than life. And, so
Yeah.
I honestly, but I told myself today, I'm like, bro, you can't just live on steroid shots. So you'll have to figure something out here. But
Right?
no, I am good. I am. I have no complaints. We had a moment of hilarity last night after we got off the show with you guys
We sure did.
that I am still laughing about. I can't even think about it without laughing. I laughed so hard I cried when it happened. So we'll share it.
It was hilarious.
After we ended and I went out, my husband was in the living room and he's like, "What the hell is going on in there?" So, YouTube sometimes we'll go in a long stretch where they refuse to monetize our videos
Yeah.
because they have something in there they don't like. We don't really know. I mean, it's impossible to crack the YouTube code.
Yes,
They're
but it is true crime, so sometimes we do talk about,
mhm,
people being dismembered and stuff like that.
mhm.
So, there is
Like,
some understandability of it.
yeah, well, like last year we had a series called Celebrity Death Roulette.
Yes, we
And
did.
YouTube was like, yeah, no, you can't use the word roulette.
You
Oh,
are promoting dangerous activities.
yeah.
We were like,
So,
"No, we're not.
so
We're
we do
really not
have to
that."
be a little careful. And yet sometimes we'll have like murder right in the title and, they monetize it no problem. So we don't know.
Yeah, it's super
But
confusing.
after we got off with you guys last night, we were still chatting and I was scrolling through our latest videos and saying how nice it is that everything has monetized and we haven't had to fight YouTube on them and it's just nice. And so I was kind of distractedly talking. And I say to Christy, well, it's because YouTube has made a change and now they are allowing light pornography in videos and still monetize. That's what I said. And Christy says, really? And I said, yeah. And she said, how's that helping us? Pornography? And I went, I didn't even hear it until she said it the second time. And then I stopped and I was like, no, no, not pornography. We're not doing pornography.
No.
No. What was the word I meant?
Profanity.
Profanity. I
Profanity.
still want to say pornography. It was profanity. So YouTube is allowing light profanity, which is monetizing more of our videos because we do swear here and there. Anyway, but
Do,
it has
but
nothing to do with pornography.
it definitely doesn't. I was very confused. She was just very deadpan. We were on still like we are right now, just not recording. And she's just looking at me like what the hell, what's up, stupid? Don't you understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, pornography? What? It was pretty great. It was a pretty epic moment. It's too bad
Yeah.
we weren't live because you guys would have died. But I was like, dude, can you hear the words coming out of your mouth?
When I said it the first time, and she goes, really?
I was like, I instantly am trying to like, wait a minute. YouTube is they allow what?
She's
Wait a
like,
minate.
how
What
does
does that
that
have to do
help
with us?
us? Oh no, Innocuous says pornography roulette is next.
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
It's only light pornography though.
Maybe we'll do a show that is death by pornography. I don't know.
There you go.
We
Oh my
had just
gosh.
we had just recorded a new Patreon episode that is called what's it called? Oh,
It's
Instant
called
Karma.
instant karma. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
And it's funny, and it'll break later tonight. And we had laughed really hard making that because there were some really funny cases in it. And
Yeah.
then the whole pornography debacle happened, and
I was so confused, you guys. Like, what did allowing light pornography have to do exactly with this? Anyway.
oh my God, I'm
Well,
blaming
I
the
wanna
steroids. That's all I have to
yeah,
say.
I think so, steroid brain. Well, I wanna
Yeah.
take a minute to welcome our chatters. We have so many coming in.
Yes.
Hey, JR and Patsy, Bianca, RJ. Oh, good, JR and RJ. I get real worried when you're not both here. Christy, Aaron, let's see. Oh, I scrolled too fast, sorry. Lauren, Gigi, Katz. Uh, Anybody else I haven't said? No, you're all here. Renee, anyway,
Renee.
a
Yeah.
and Innocuous. It's so nice to have you all here. Welcome, welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. JR says maybe Christian pornography. So some kind of like Lori Vallow spinoff.
I don't even, I don't wanna go there. I don't
Paranormal murder porn. There's a thought that I don't know if we can keep that light. And it was only light
Yeah, it was
pornography that's
only
allowed.
so that means the lights were on during no, never mind.
No.
Not going there. Actually,
Hello,
what I wanna
Oriana.
do hey, Oriana, is tell you what I was doing today, and if you are
Yeah.
watching live, I will show you. I
Yes.
got my kitty tattoo done. Some of
Yes.
you know I've been talking about this for months, that I wanted to get a, portrait of my kitty, Spree, who is 16, and I gave her a crown of jewels and a neck piece of jewels. And so here's one picture. It was done today, just this afternoon, and I think it turned out so good. I'm so happy with it.
It is gorgeous. She did a
It's
beautiful
beautiful.
job.
And it looks just like the picture I gave her of her, really. It's so
Mhm.
pretty.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
she
jewel
captured Spree really well.
and you can't see the lower jewels in this picture very well, but there are 2 down in the bottom.
Mhm.
My cursor is, so you guys can see that, I'm quite sure you can't. That
She
are
did the
absolutely
jewels
gorgeous.
beautifully.
She
Yeah, she
did.
did a great job.
Yeah, she does gemstone tattoos, and so,
Mhm.
anyway, it turned out so good, I'm so happy with it. My arm's real hot and sore because I was in the chair for 4 hours, but 4 and a
Mhm.
half, actually.
It's awesome. We have
Yeah,
found the best artist.
oh, we have,
Right,
she's
it's
so talented.
yeah, she's amazing. And she's fun to visit with. Like, it's
She
nice
is.
to be in her office. Their office in
It
general
is.
is a shit show, but in her little part of the office is wonderful, and she is
Super
amazing.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, her
So,
name is
anyway
Wendy, by the way, at Thompson Tattoo in Idaho Falls, if anybody
yes.
is interested. She's the one that also
On
did this piece.
Lomax. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's fantastic.
yeah.
But to look at that picture in comparison to my cat, you would just
Mhm.
die to see. It's so much like her, it's so
But you're
cool.
not gonna grab her and cram her face in front of the camera?
I am not because she scratches real hard.
I
Um,
know.
she
I just wanted to see it, that's all.
yeah, you did because she's kinda naughty to you.
Well,
But
yeah,
anyway
she won't get out of a chair for you, that's for damn sure.
no, once she's in a chair, that is her damn
You're
chair, I'll
done.
tell you that.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm so pleased, so that's what I did today.
Well, good job. You know, that
Yeah.
talk about spree reminds me a little of a cat you or a dog you used to have.
Yeah.
So Christy
Which
and
one?
Rhonda used to have a dog named Lucy.
Oh,
And
poor
Lucy was
Lucy.
kind of like a little black lab. She wasn't very big, and she was a
Yeah.
darling dog who was a sweetheart until the end of her life. She just got a little grumpy about certain things. And
Possibly
for
everything? I don't
some
know.
reason, like the last couple of years before she passed, whenever we'd go camping, for these guys to get her in and out of their camper, they'd have to kind of lift her and make her go. And she was so mean about it. And oh, they'd be sitting around the campfire arguing. I did it last time. It's your turn.
It's because she'd snap right in your face and try to, like, bite you as you were
Mhm.
lifting her up.
Then they'd wrestle her into the camper with her fighting, and oh my gosh. Anyway,
Yeah, naughty. I'm gonna post a picture
it,
of my
it
kitty
was
because
funny.
it was funny. It was
Only
funny.
because I didn't have to wrestle her into the camper.
Yeah, because it wasn't you. I am gonna post a picture. Oh, how'd I manage that?
Yeah. I guess Spree's in charge of the show tonight. Go for it, Spreedle Deedle.
I don't know what happened. Something's gone wrong here.
Hmm.
I don't know what's happened. I didn't do that.
Oh.
Start video. Start video. What happened?
Are we live?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Hi guys. I don't know what happened. I hit something. Anyway, what I was trying to say is I was gonna show you a picture of my kitty. JR was asking so that you can see how much this picture looks like her. So, if I can manage to do that without screwing us up yet again, here we go. This is my kitty.
There. Yep.
This is my tattoo of Spree. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm. There
Right?
her is.
She got her markings all right. She got her beauty mark. Yeah. So
Yep,
sorry
that's
about
right.
that
Innocuous
weirdness.
says the kitty tattoo is hypnotizing us all.
I guess because
We don't know where we are or
I
what
don't
we're
know.
doing.
I did something weird, but it's done now. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna hide those. But anyway, if you just managed to join us and wondered what the hell we're doing, we're looking at my new tattoo that looks like my cat Spree, and you can see how much it looks like my cat Spree.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Awesome.
yeah, very, very fun. And now we're
Bye, Spree.
swapped. Bye, Spree. Also, we're switched sides. I don't know. I really screwed up a lot of stuff here, my friends. Sorry about that. Anyway, what are we doing?
It's okay.
Why are we here? Okay, yeah.
I think it's light pornography. I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
It's cat porn. That's about the only porn we would be producing would be cat porn. So anyway, we were kind of wondering, what are you all feeling? We want to do some readings for you tonight. We'd like to know kind of how you're feeling, what's going on with you. You know, what are you feeling like you need? And we're going to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in our clients
Mm-hmm.
and give you a minute to tell us what you need and what you would like a reading on tonight. Don't forget the super chat is on. No pressure if you don't want to, but if you do want to, you can buy a sticker, and if you do that, it gives us a little tip. We always appreciate it if you can.
Yep.
So Katie, I know that I'm not asking you a question about softball in case you were wondering. What have you been seeing in people this week?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Combative behavior.
Yeah.
Yep. Combative behavior, stubborn behavior. A lot of people, particularly in jobs. Oh my goodness. You know what? I mentioned this like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then it got a little better and now we're back to it. A lot of stubborn, passive aggressive bullshit behavior in jobs. Yeah. And I think a lot of it's wrapped up in fear, over people's own job and worry, but also just a lot of just kind of that, all for one, or all for one, that's might not be right. Yeah. Yeah. All for one act, behavior. People are just really, only taking care of themselves. And so that's kind of that's a part of it that I'm seeing. I am seeing a lot of people feeling like they have a heaviness over them. Been doing a lot of grounding and aura clearing work for people that just are feeling heavy. And I agree, Bianca, that full moon was a kicker. So we had the full moon in Scorpio on Monday. Yeah, Monday. And it was a biggie. Like my Scorpios loved it. Everyone else did not.
Yeah. It seemed a little intense. People got a little more intense than usual.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of relationships that have been sort of teetering on the edge, finally falling off the edge. I've been hearing that from quite a few people this week, that a relationship that was like, we were struggling, now we're like not even speaking, or we're not even living in the same house. Is this relationship going to make it? No, it's not. It's kind of a purging time. I think we go through those periodically when certain relationships are really struggling, that you'll go through a period where a lot of them will just end all at once. And I'm seeing that a lot with a lot of the people I've been talking to. And just a lot of it's like we're going through another wave of awakening of empaths.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to several brand new empaths recently that are just really struggling and feeling all kinds of other people's emotions or physical pain and feeling all messed up emotionally, and they can't figure out why, and it's because they're not, they don't know what's happening to them, like, they haven't learned about being an empath yet, and a lot of us have been down that road for a long time. But if any of you are new to that, and feeling if somebody's told you we're an empath, or you just seem to be feeling other people's emotions a ton, let us know in the chat, and we'll talk more about that, because it's definitely something I'm seeing is that it's like a new crop or popping up.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
Agreed.
a new crop of empaths.
Agreed with that entirely.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments saying that they're feeling anxious.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to tell you that I had a class planned that I'm still gonna do, but it's gonna be next week now. It was supposed to be this week for spirit school, and it was on staying grounded and managing your root chakra in crazy times. And then the internet would not let me run it. I don't know why. And this has been a crazy week, and my wife is having surgery, and we just have all this stuff going on. So I'm teaching it next week. So if you're not in spirit school yet, come to spirit school, because I'm going to teach a bunch of root chakra stuff and ways to kind of find your center again when things in this world throw you off. And clearly, I was not grounded enough when I tried to teach it on Tuesday, because I couldn't stay online. I couldn't stay on the air. I will tell you, though, that several platforms this week have had trouble with people going live.
Yep.
Isn't that weird? It's not just Be Live. Facebook and Ecamm is another one that all have had glitches with live streaming.
Yeah. I mean, we almost didn't make it live last night.
Yeah, we had a notice from Be Live that we may not be able to go live, that they were working on it. And then we did just fine. But it's an interesting thing. Something's going on, because you see it in the technology too. But come join us in spirit school if you don't know about that.
We did have, I know last week, I'm not sure about this week, but I'm going to assume yes, because last week we had a lot of solar flares. There was a big solar storm happening, and that I'm imagining is, spilling over into this week. And solar flares can create a ridiculous amount of disturbances in electronics and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So something's been up. But if you don't know about spirit school, it is where we teach. We do a live meditation and 2 metaphysical classes next month, 3 for you. And if you want to join that, you can do that by going to the homepage of our YouTube channel and just click on join, and it's our membership. It's $14.99 a month, and you get those free classes. So anyway, interesting that we're seeing a lot of anxiety, because it's a lot of root chakra stuff. And that root chakra stuff that anxiety is root chakra stuff. And so we'll work on it some tonight, but I'm going to be teaching on it very specifically on Tuesday night.
I was just looking at the Schumann Resonance to see if that has anything to do with.
I wonder, I hadn't heard anything about the Schumann Resonance in a little while.
Where we're at. Well, it's 9 today, which is very low. That's like very normal. Normal. We haven't been normal in some time. But it looks like on.
Well, I mean, we're never normal, but I mean, if you're talking about the Schumann Resonance.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It looks like on Monday, though, it was 62, and on Sunday it was 67. So it's been a little bit higher. So if you're not familiar with the Schumann Resonance is it's measured in megahertz. It was discovered in the 60s, 50s, in the 50s by a gentleman by the last name of, guess. Schumann, and or is it resonance? No, it's Schumann.
I
And
thought it was going to be Jones. I was totally going with Jones.
right, and it's a frequency that the Earth emanates, and
Yeah.
it's measured in megahertz. It is considered to be the heartbeat of the Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the same from like I think 1953 when he discovered it up until around 2013. And then it started like having these big fluctuations.
Yeah.
It's been 7.83 for a billion years, right? I don't know about a billion years, from the 50s to now.
Yeah.
And then in 2013, it started going way up and spiking, like clear up the power of it. So the power is not the same. The power is usually around 9. And we were seeing the power of it spiking up to like 95. There were a couple of days that it was well over 100 for the first time in recorded history. And scientists don't actually know why that's happening.
Yeah.
But energy workers have discovered that on days that it's really high, those are typically days that people are feeling really intense. It's
Wow.
really interesting. Yeah.
It is really interesting. I find it interesting that they don't really know where that frequency is coming from. Like,
Yeah.
what is causing that?
Hmm.
I think it's fascinating because there's so much stuff we don't know, you know?
Oh, so
We,
much.
as
Yeah.
humans, we kind of tend to think we kind of got it all figured out now. And we definitely do not have it all figured out now. And the Schumann resonance is a great example
We
of
know
that.
nothing. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. But it is an interesting correlation to when I have days that I have clients just climbing out of their skin and I'm feeling it too, and the world just seems like it's on fire. Go check the Schumann because a lot of times
Yeah.
you'll see solar flares and you'll see the Schumann resonance,
Yep.
right? Doing
And
its
that
thing.
energy, that shift in energy and shift in vibration and frequency, it has a huge impact on us, whether
Yeah.
traditional science will tell us that or not. We know that it does because we see it in the
Hmm.
collective. When you start seeing everybody having anxiety at the same time, or, everybody feeling
Hmm.
so tired they can't get out of bed at the same time, that kind of thing,
Hmm.
something is causing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super interesting. Super, super interesting.
Oh, yeah. I love the study of the Schumann resonance. I keep a pretty close eye on it
Yeah.
because I think it's fascinating. But all of these
Well, it
things,
is.
that create the cocktail of things that help affect the way we feel.
Yeah.
And then when you throw into it the full moon, because I mean, you talk to anyone who works in an emergency room or for a police department, and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, the full moon brings forward some serious bullshit.
Mhm. Oh, the
And
domestic violence too, man. We
oh,
knew it when
yeah.
we worked in domestic violence that
Hmm.
you nobody wanted to volunteer to be, on call the week of the full moon because you knew that weekend was gonna be crazy, and it always was.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Yep. Well, and more babies are born.
Yeah.
It's just it's one of those times that creates a lot of motion on the planet. It's
Well,
very interesting.
the lunar cycles have a pretty significant impact on the Earth itself,
Hmm.
and we're just animals, baby, It just
Right.
has just as much whether we like to admit it or not, we are, and we are just
Yeah.
as affected as any other living thing on this planet. When the planet itself is affected, so are we.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Without
All
a
right.
doubt. Well,
Well,
you think about how you feel around the time of a big natural disaster. And
ugh,
this is really interesting
yikes.
because sometimes people, empaths, a lot of times are crazy good barometers
Yep.
to earthquakes, to tsunamis. A lot of times people will start feeling uncomfortable in their skin, feeling pressure in their head, just feeling off and weird. And within a day or two, there's an earthquake. And it's not
Yeah.
necessarily, maybe it's in China, it's not necessarily anywhere near you, but empaths a lot of times will start feeling that
Yep.
building before it happens. And then when it happens,
Definitely.
they go, oh, that must be. And
Yeah.
that's really interesting as well. Yeah.
Mhm. I've found it interesting for a long time. I have,
Hmm.
woken up and went, "Oh, hell, there was a big earthquake," and looked it up, and there was many
Hmm.
times in my life.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Well, should we jump in and do some questions?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to take Gigi's question, but would you take Patsy's? Patsy said, would like to know why I feel like a slight pull of hair on the top of my head. Not a firm pull, but aware of it. It's crown chakra.
Yes, I loved this question. Do you want to go first?
Go ahead, and then I'll go with Gigi.
Okay. It is crown chakra. This is a way that some angels, guides, and people who have passed will get your attention because your crown is really sensitive. I mean, if you put your hand up in here and don't touch your hair, but just be above your hair, you will feel it.
Yeah.
That force field there is really, really sensitive to touch. And
Mhm.
so I've had many, many people who've passed over the years tell me that's how I get her attention. They give you
Yep.
a little
Yeah.
buzz in the
On the
crown,
top of the head.
and it might even feel or be a tiny tug of hair, but that is somebody getting your attention. I think for you, it's your guides, but then that's
Mhm.
how they're getting your attention to talk to you. So when that happens, take a breath and then ask if there's anything you need to know. There isn't always. Sometimes it's just a reminder that they're there, a little show
Yeah.
of solidarity and support. But sometimes there's a message. So just stop, breathe with it, and just ask if there's anything you need to know. But yeah, you're getting contacted. That's what's happening there. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I love it. Love it. I've felt it many times, and so I love it when other people ask about it because I'm like, yeah, been there. So Gigi
Hmm.
says, I'm doing a job at home. I will be sewing for a business. Do you think it will be a good job for me? I do. I feel really positive about it. The only thing is, I feel like you're going to have real clear boundaries
Hmm.
about your time and what you're willing to do and not willing to do. And just being clear about what you're comfortable with. But I actually feel like it's gonna be really, satisfying. The work itself is very satisfying, and that
Hmm.
it's gonna be nice for you. I feel like it's real positive.
Yeah,
Well, awesome. I'm excited for you. Bianca would like a clearing. You wanna do that for her?
absolutely. Yep.
Uh,
Actually, let's do a group clearing.
okay.
I think everyone in this room could use an aura clearing because that's what I'm seeing, just heavy auras.
Mhm.
So your aura is the extension of your body. It's your spirit body, right? So when someone says you're in my bubble, or when you say you're in my bubble, as we all say, all the time,
Mhm.
or at least think, that's your spirit.
Right.
That's that extension of you that feels a little too personal for other people to just be standing all up in.
Right.
And your aura tends to be, it's kind of like a cobweb in a sense. It is sticky and it picks up energy around you. We usually call that, energetic debris or psychic debris.
Mhm.
And depending on where you are, right? If you are, or where you are in your life. Maybe you're picking this up at work, out in the world. Maybe it's coming from other family members. Maybe it's just collectively, the psychic air is not very clean right now, and so it doesn't necessarily come from the same place all the time. But that heavy aura is interesting because it will make you feel tired. It will make you feel kind of uncomfortable in your skin. And just like you really need to like break away from that. So sometimes, I mean, Christy and I both see it differently, and also the same probably sometimes. But for me, a lot of times it looks like you have a heavy layer of ash that's settled over you that we
Okay.
need to pull off. Christy, lots of times I've heard you call it look like a big wet heavy wool blanket is thrown over
Mhm.
somebody.
Or a dirty window. Sometimes looks like a dirty window too.
Yeah, yeah. So clearing the aura sometimes makes an enormous difference in how you feel. So let's do that. So everybody just close your eyes here for a minute and breathe with me. And then I'd like you to envision a really powerful beam of light emanating from your heart out into your aura, into your spirit. And keep letting that light continue to emanate, filling up your frequency, filling up your aura, letting it get bigger and bigger until that debris breaks away. And keep just letting that energy run. The frequency is going to get higher and higher. That light will get brighter and brighter. And eventually, with a crack, all of that extra debris, all that psychic debris will just crack and break off of your aura. And then we'll just send all of that debris into the earth. And then you don't have to let your aura stay that big. Let it retract. But now you can breathe. So when your aura is really heavy like that, you almost feel like you can't expand, you can't breathe. So I love that analogy. And then let's just start at your feet and lift you up and pull anything off of you that doesn't belong there, almost like peeling off an extra skin off of your aura itself. So peeling the bubble. Pull that clear off the top of your head. It's almost like taking off a dress, right? You're peeling out the outside layer, and we're going to just throw that into the earth. And then, starting at your feet, just envision a bright tangerine aura of light. Big, thick blanket of tangerine light just wrapping all the way around you, all the way to the top of your head. Just wrapping you up in something bright, something brilliant, something nourishing. Now, if the color that you are seeing come out here is not tangerine, that's fine. Maybe you needed something else today. And that's okay too. Okay. All right. So we filled it, we cracked it, and cleaned it up. So that's a really easy exercise, but I think it's really effective in just clearing off what doesn't belong to you, you don't need anymore. So with that being said, Christy, as you move on, I am going to still run through Bianca quick and make sure she's cleared up good.
Okay.
But that's a good start for everybody.
Yeah. JR says, what was the real reason the relationship between my former best friend and I didn't work out? And is there any hope left? And I was asking about this a minute ago, JR, and it's like the two of you are walking down a path and then a fork in the road comes and you each take a different direction. I just feel like you really grew in different ways and just didn't fit each other's lives anymore. And I don't feel like there is any hope left. And I'm sorry to say that. I don't want to be negative, but at the same time, I do want to be honest. And I don't feel that your lives are going to intersect again. That happens sometimes with friends, that we end up with a time in which our lives fit together. And then there's a time when they don't. And I feel like that's what happened here, is that you just came to a time when the two of you grew in different ways. You became people that didn't fit one another anymore. And that's why that's the underlying reason why, in spite of whatever else went on, the underlying reason is that it used to be easy and now it's not. And when that happens with a relationship, you move on.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sorry, because I know that's painful.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it was the right thing for both of you, that this person just didn't feel like that you fit in their life anymore.
Yeah.
And they really didn't fit yours either.
Yeah. Yeah. Christy, I would really like to look into your dad. I would like a little bit more information.
Yes.
Would love his first name and anything else that you want to share to help us get there. I'm looking at it as we're talking, and I just honestly, I feel like I need a little more to get there for you. And so, if you can at least let us know what his name is and what the circumstances or situation was behind his death, I would love to take a look at that and see if we can tune into him. So, I'd like to know when he died, what his name is, and what the general circumstances were, and I will do my best for you. Yeah, I don't want to leave you hanging on that.
Yeah. Awesome. Did I
But
miss
I
Christy?
also, unless we are, yeah, her name is Christy.
No,
Unless
no, did I
we,
miss her question? Oh, I did.
oh,
I'm
it was
sorry.
hi. Unless we're like interfacing together, it's going to turn into something like too big and long for radio. So,
Mhm.
so a little more help would be perfect, so that
Yeah,
we can give you
definitely.
our best
Definitely.
work. Yeah.
Okay, did you have anything you wanted to share with Bianca?
Bianca, you had some two things. Your throat was really balled up. And so I cleared that out. And then I cleared out the base of your spine, like right around your hips. There was some real worry that had really coagulated there. Coagulated. That's a weird energy word. That's really not. But it really, combined there, built up there. So I cleared that as well. So,
Nice.
yep, yep, yep.
Okay, I'm going to do some energy healing for RJ. Do you want to take a look at Oriana's question?
Yes, yes. Okay, Christy, thank you. I will absolutely get to you. I promise.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, Oriana. Okay, she said she's been so tired all week. My boss has been super snarky with me. What should I do? As much as I hate to say it, I think you should start looking for a new job. I do. That place has stressed you beyond belief. And I don't feel like it's you. Like the snark that you're getting from your boss, I don't think it has anything to do with you. I think that they are super stressed and that this office is kind of toxic. And I know that, this job came into your lap when you needed it, and that's great. I don't suspect that you're going to go quit before you find something else, but I would be looking if I were you. I don't think it's going to be tenable to stay there long term. In the meantime, get your crystals out, girl. Get your selenite in your bra, get a rose quartz in your pocket, do some things for you that just help to keep you a little more clear, a little more sustained there. But more than anything, recognize that so much of the unhappiness in that office has nothing to do with you. You are just you're taking hits from it because there's some anger, some resentment, some BS going on there. So I'm sorry that's happening, but that's my best advice is that really you start thinking beyond this place because you don't deserve that. And I feel like they go in cycles. It's kind of like the cycle of domestic violence over there. It gets better for a while and you go, okay, this isn't terrible. I know they sent you flowers last week, right? For a administrative assistance day.
That's
And it's
right.
like, oh, this doesn't suck. And then the next day somebody's awful.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not going to be, it's not going to turn into something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. Let's see. Let me talk to RJ real quick and then let's get to Christy.
Yeah.
So, RJ, you really had quite an attachment in your solar plexus. So, solar plexus attachments generally are about somebody draining your energy, kind of maybe needing you a little too much, taking advantage, expecting too much from you. I did pull that attachment and balanced your energy body, but look at your relationships. Who is relying on you too heavily? And how can you set some clearer boundaries to stop that? I feel like that's what was going on.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Let's grab Stella really quick. There's a few here that we could answer in like super quick.
okay, you want to do that first?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Stella said she gave her notice to her job. She planned to stay a little bit longer, but it's just feeling too burned out. She wanted to know if she'll be able to find a good part-time job while she refocuses on goals and returns full-time in the fall. I absolutely feel like you will. I feel like this comes in the form of a friend, Stella, that either you go to work for a friend who has a little business that needs some help, or that you have a friend that can hook you up with something. But I keep feeling like there's a little networking that'll happen here that'll help hook you up with that. I think you will end up with something that's a real no-brainer of a job, right? That you just get to go do. It's fun. I feel like you'll be like, are you really paying me for this? Right? Because you're used to busting your ass nonstop. And
Mhm.
this job won't be like that. It'll be pretty low key. And it'll take you a little while to get comfortable with that because you're so used to being like hyper vigilant and working really hard. It's not going to be like that. And that will give you the emotional space to be able to refocus on your goals. So, yeah. And good for you. Good for you.
Mhm. Very
Yeah.
good. Do you want to take Paula also? Because I would really like to talk with Corin.
Absolutely. Yep. So Paula's smelling a cologne or perfume she doesn't recognize. Any idea who it is? I don't think it's someone you know. I think it's someone who followed you home.
Ah,
I'm
nice.
tapping into that. And I do feel like there is a spirit around you that you don't know. This is someone who it's a younger, well, I don't know if she's younger now, but she feels younger to me. She told me that she recognizes you as a mother figure. So she's hanging around you because you feel safe, you feel motherly. Um, I'm just going to ask her. I want to make sure she's actually crossed over. I'm not really sure why she's looking for a mother figure. Yeah, she has. She just really likes you. I'm just going to ask her to not be a pest. She's not scary. I mean, she's just a little sweetheart. She's only, I would say when she passed, she was probably around 18. And yeah, she's just resonating with you. So I asked her to please not be weird. I don't think that she is. She's just, she's not bad, scary. This isn't nefarious. She just likes you.
Don't be weird.
her
Hey, spirit, don't be weird, okay? Like
name is Lisa. And I said,
like,
yeah,
don't leave
don't be
wet
weird.
towels in the bathroom, okay? And don't, like, drink
Right.
all the milk and then put the carton back in the fridge.
She's not going to stay Paula, but I think from time to time you'll smell her again. Yeah, I do. But just know her name is Lisa and she just loves you. She loves your energy. You feel like a comfort, like someone safe for her, and that's why she's around.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Corin says, was finally diagnosed autistic and with ADHD last month and recovering from autistic burnout for the past year. It's a relief and makes sense, but not sure how to reset myself and life to move forward right now. Well, first of all, if you aren't already, I would suggest that you join a couple of groups online for adults with autism. I feel like it would help you a lot to interact with people who've maybe had this diagnosis had the diagnosis officially a little longer and can guide you. But I also feel like really it's just about what do you want to do? It doesn't matter if you have autism or ADHD or anything else. The question really is, now what? If you could choose what you do next, what would it be? And work toward that. And I don't mean to put a lot of pressure on you because that can sound like a lot. I'm just saying that just because you have these diagnoses does not mean that you can't take the steps forward in your life that you want to take. So I just want to encourage you to do that. But I also think that it would help you a lot. And there's lots of them, and some of them are regional, so you could join one in your area. They might even have some in-person meetups or online meetups with other adults who are diagnosed with autism and other adults who are diagnosed with ADHD. Get some advice from people who've been at this a while because they're the ones that are really going to know how to guide you and help you beyond just doing what feels right. What do you want to do? And don't be afraid to do that thing. There's no reason why you can't.
Mhm.
Don't let anybody tell you that because you have this diagnosis or that diagnosis, you can't do this or that thing. It is not true at
Mhm.
all. This is just you understanding better for yourself how you interact with the world and how your brain works.
Yeah.
So now that you know that and that makes life easier for you, what do you want to do with your life, Corin? And go do it, you know?
Yeah.
But talk to some other adults that have experience with this. I feel like that will help you a lot. You need a community.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Christie, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, her dad's name is Daryl,
Okay.
and she was told that he was shot or committed suicide, and he died in 1980. So it's been a good amount of time. Christy, I do have him around you. He is oh, and her son. He and her son share a birthday. Wow. Oh, he's a
Oh,
Cancer. Oh, okay.
God loves
Well,
cancers the best.
God does love cancers the most. So
I thought it was Sagittarians, but that's whatever.
I resonate with this. Okay,
Mhm.
Christy. I do believe that he was actually shot. I do. This was a friend or a supposed friend. I do feel like he was kind of messed up into some stuff, and he had been living a little hard. I feel like this was someone who was supposed to be his friend and that there was some kind of dust up going on. I feel like this could have been about substance abuse. It could have been about money, but it was about something really charged that had these two people way at odds. And I feel like he was shot and that they kind of tried to arrange it to make it look like it was a suicide, but really messy. really messy. And so I think that, it was hard to know. I also feel like the police weren't all that interested in it because they weren't, I feel like it was easy to walk away from this one, that they didn't see it as a priority, and so they didn't. So, but that's what I see happening. That's what he's showing me, is that that's what happened. Um, he just wants you to know that you have done he says so much better than he did. And that you have really made something of yourself in your life. And he's really proud of that and really proud of you. I feel like he actually serves as a guide for your son quite a bit. When he died, he was not healed. There was a mess in him that healed over time. And then he's really been able to step up and be, the kind of grandpa in heaven he never would have been able to be on earth. I don't want to say never. That's so unfair. But he was not living that way at the time. But at any rate, honey, that's what I do believe happened to him. I don't think this is something that will ever really come to justice or anything really. It's just, because there really wasn't much follow up. But
Yeah.
that's where I feel like it's at.
It's
So,
really
but
unfortunate.
my heart goes out to you. You talk to him, honey. You talk to him. I think you already do sometimes. I think there's a real weird energy in you about, like, how do I connect to this person, to this energy? Just talk to him. He's around you. He's actually super funny. I think that might be a part of him that you do or don't know about him, but he's actually kind of snarky and funny and has an awesome sense of humor. That's what I wish you really would get to experience from him, now.
Yeah.
But that's what I've got for you.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. It's nice to get some closure, I think, and just some knowledge about what's real.
Yeah, even if it's news like that, I mean, but that sucks to not know. In either case, that's a very
Right.
traumatic death.
Right. In either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are so welcome, Christy. My honor.
Yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, she
Um,
didn't know him. I figured. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's funny. Know that. He's kind of like salty and sarcastic and funny.
I get a feeling that that Christy's got his sense of humor.
I'm guessing she
I
does.
kind of
Yeah.
feel like you will, if you think about it, you've got some of his sense of humor.
Hmm.
I just feel that. Yeah. I wanted to say, Corin asked if there's any way to schedule an appointment with me rather than finding me when I'm online or not on the app. And yes, there is, because I'm not on the app very much right now. So if you want to schedule an appointment with me directly, just go to our website, truecrimeparanormalpodcast.com, and send me a message. And I will get back with you and tell you how to set that up.
Perfect.
Because, yeah, I do take direct appointments as well as working on the app.
Hmm. These guys are cracking me up in the chat because we have a Kimberly Davis in the house.
I saw this.
Someone
yes.
else who said that her mother is also named Kimberly Davis. And they agreed that there was a Kim Davis who refused to get marriage licenses to gays and was a real twat about it.
She
and
sure was.
they were sure embarrassed by her behavior. She does not
Right?
deserve to bear the name Kim Davis. That's what we
Right?
know.
I
Yeah,
would
Christy
not.
is salty and sarcastic. I love it.
Perfect. Our kind of girl, right?
Yep.
That cracks me up. But yeah, I saw that and I'm like, yeah, that Kim Davis was a real.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What can I say? We're allowed light profanity. She was a real, well, one of my favorites is Dick Smack. I don't know why. It's so inappropriate, but she was a real Dick Smack.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. What is it with that word? I like that.
I do not know. But
what? I also am really fond of the word ass monkey, and I don't even know what that means, to be honest. It's probably something awful, and I should never say it again, but I like that one too.
yeah, it probably is. I have a couple of friends I could text right now, and they'd probably tell me to.
Do not look that up in Urban Dictionary. You will not be. No.
I'm afraid some of my gay male friends would be like, do not ever say that again.
No,
Never say that again.
True.
Lauren's got a question for us. She says, my son is getting ready to go to grad school. I want to know if he will find a sense of direction and confidence. He struggles socially. No, he's getting ready to graduate high school, not go to grad school. Okay, let's be real here. Okay. Lauren, I do feel like it's going to take him a little while to find his footing. and that he's gonna need some support from you. I feel like he will eventually, yes, but is it gonna be right away? No.
Mm-mm.
I feel like he's gonna need a fair amount of support.
He's
And,
one
it's
of those boys that takes a little bit longer to really bloom and find himself. He is.
yes. Yeah, and, I don't know if you've noticed this, but we have in our family that the girls, when they graduate high school, are like, "I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this," and they've laid it all out, and they're way more prepared
Mhm.
than the boys are.
Mhm.
And, I feel like he's gonna be one of those. I feel like he will get it, yes,
Mhm.
but it's gonna take him a little extra time.
Yes, agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
So Kimberly has a husband that was killed in Iraq, and she wanted to know that he's okay. She said it's been 15 years and she misses him every day. Kimberly, I got to tell you something. The first thing I felt from him when I read that question relates to another soldier that died that I know. And so I'm going to share a little bit of his story with you so I can help you understand what I'm seeing from your husband. So I had a client years ago whose son was killed in the Coast Guard in an accident. They were rescuing a vessel and some of their equipment malfunctioned and he was crushed. He was only about 24, 25.
Mm,
And of course, it was, friggin' horrible. And his poor
yeah.
mom, anyway, you can imagine the details. It was awful. He didn't die immediately. He was extremely injured for several months and then he passed. And
Mm,
anyway, so I've worked with her for years and years and years. And about 2 years after he died, he told us that he now had a calling or a purpose. I call it a job, but that's kind of more there's jobs on the other side. They just aren't,
mhm.
they're not gainful. They're passions, right?
Right.
And his job was to help other soldiers that were passing, to help escort them, which I thought was so interesting. And then he showed me that he had soldiers who had died that helped him to transition. And I thought that was so interesting and that he had taken that up to help others who had died. So I'm telling you that because when I tuned in to your husband, he showed me something almost identical. So I had to check in and be like, wait a minute, this story is too familiar. Is this
Right.
am I projecting what I know? No, no, I'm not. He's been doing the same thing. It's almost
That's
like
so cool.
there's a collective of them. Anyway, so I want you to
It
know
would make
that he
sense to
has
me.
quite the job, though he's around you in the family a lot, a lot. But this is the self-appointed passion project that he does have, and that is to be there and be a part of assisting soldiers who are crossing over. But I want to give you a message from him. So he called you sweetheart, and he put his hand on your shoulder, and he said, "Hi, sweetheart. It's been a long time, even though I'm with you every day. I know that you miss me, and I miss you too. I want you to know that I will never I'll never be able to show enough gratitude for the way you have kept me alive and kept my memory alive." And he says that you still do everything's every year to mark his life and his passing, and that you've been really amazing about that and how much he loves and appreciates that. So he's okay, you know. He says that you have carried on. He said that this nearly destroyed you. The first year was extremely hard, and you've carried on, and he wants you to know he's really proud of that. He also told me that you're a warrior yourself, and he always knew you'd be tough. But yeah,
That's awesome.
but he's a sweetheart, such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love that that's the job he's doing. I think that's so neat.
Now I'm fascinated this is because this is the second time I've heard this and seen this
Right.
now. Interesting.
It makes
Our
sense, though.
mom works in a library,
She sure does.
which makes all the sense because the woman was a fiend for books.
Oh, yeah,
But
and was an
she
elementary
works
school teacher.
yeah, I was an elementary school teacher. She works in what I would call the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
But that's not what she calls them. And when I've tried to call them that before, she's like, no. But
That's a very how it is. We make up words for things because we don't know what they are,
right.
and then things happen on the other side, and we sort of have some awareness of what it is, but not a full awareness.
Hmm.
Now, Maureen did ask us how her friend Obi died. And I
Oh,
asked for a little more info. I think we need a little more info on Obi before we can answer that question.
yes. Yeah.
So if Maureen doesn't have a chance to get back to us, we might have to answer that one next week. But certainly we can. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Oh, he was a kindred spirit of
music
mine.
instrument.
Did he
Did
commit
he commit
suicide?
suicide? Yeah,
Yeah. Does feel
he
like it,
did.
doesn't it?
He did. Boy, he had some it just I mean, this was just straight up mental health stuff, you know.
Yeah, it was.
What he's showing me is he had something in him that was convincing him all the time that the world would be better without him. And
Yeah.
he had a sense that he was a fraud because he was always
Mhm.
trying to fit in. He was always kind of he did and then he didn't, you know, but he didn't know how to relate to people. I mean, I think people would be surprised to hear that because I don't think that's actually true. But in his mind, he wasn't because the mind chatter that was going on versus the person that he presented were so different.
Yeah, it
But
was a
yeah, and
delusion that he
yeah,
had.
he had some mental health stuff going on that I do feel like, you know, that he was in so much pain. So actually, honey, I do feel like that's true. I do want you to know that he's well now, though. He is.
Yeah. He's okay, and he's crossed over. Some people get told that, people who commit suicide go to a horrible place. It's not true at all.
Ugh.
Not true at all.
We
You go
could
to
fill a
anywhere
whole show with and
we
maybe we
could.
should do a suicide show,
I
honestly,
wonder if we
a
should
suicide
about that.
victims show.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because we've worked in situations like that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Kimberly said, "Oh my goodness, I have cold chills." That described him to a T. He was a soldier through and through. I love knowing he's there for other soldiers. You brought me to tears and made my day. Good.
Aw, that's so sweet.
That's what we do up in here. We make people cry.
Well, we have
My
been known
husband
for it
says
for a
that's
long
what I
time.
do for a living.
Yeah. In this line of work, you do often make people cry, but it's usually for a good reason, not a bad one. I mean,
Right?
let's hope
With
it's
a
never for a
usually
bad
happy
one,
tears.
but you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. Well,
Yeah.
she says, "Thank you just doesn't cover the peace I feel now." That's
Oh, my
nice.
honor. I'll tell you, Kimberly, I used to really hate mediumship, like really hate it. And because it scared me, and
Yeah,
because I have an ego, and that ego makes you not want to be wrong about anything, and mediumship
right.
puts you way out there. And I used to really be, I hated it. And when people would ask me to do it, I'd be like, oh, back this again. But anyway, when my mom died and being able to communicate with her, it really changed my perspective on okay, when you can help people at this level, you should, and it's
Right.
ridiculous to shy away from it. Really changed mediumship for me. Yeah,
No kidding. No kidding.
yeah,
Makes a big
a
difference
lot.
then, huh?
Yes, yeah. And so
Aw,
I've had
Christy,
to just get over my weird self and just not be weird.
right? Christy says, "Couldn't understand why he would choose to leave me." Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, and I want you to know as a mental health social worker and having worked in a lot of suicide situations that even when someone does complete a suicide, they are not choosing consciously to leave you. They really are
No.
out of their head in that moment. They're not
Mhm.
rational anymore. Not that
No.
it doesn't feel that way, because it
Yeah.
does,
Yeah.
but it's not like, "Oh, I hate my family, that's why I'm gonna do it." It's never that, ever. Actually, a lot of people who commit suicide actually think you're better off without them.
Mhm.
Because those delusions, those voices, and, that terrible stuff that's going on in their heads is telling them that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Often, way too often we hear that. Yep.
yeah. And Lauren, thank you for joining our chat for the first time. We're so glad you've been
Yeah.
here.
Very nice to have you and all of you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us tonight as we just appreciate the opportunity to get to be here with you. We will be here for a couple of pop-ups this weekend, right? Right? We're gonna be here for a couple of
I
pop-ups this
think
weekend?
so. I really want to be. I
We
do, you
both have
guys.
had some crazy weekends, people. But yeah,
We
I think we
have.
will get some pop-ups done this weekend. And then, of
I
course,
just
we're
want
gonna
to
be
do
back
a
next
pop-up
week.
called you big idiot, and just keep the conversation about dumb criminals going for a while.
I know. I love the dumb criminals conversation. It's hilarious. It is not as though I want people to be good at being criminals, but occasionally I'm like, dude, come on. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, step it up a little bit. Yeah.
Try at least a little. So, anyway,
Mhm.
we will be back with some of that. And we'll be back next week with all our regular shows.
Yes, we will.
So, thanks so much for joining us, you guys. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.